I think what I'll talk about is um, just finding the humor in things, because I'll talk about just we're in the grind. We got multiple careers we're juggling, kids we're juggling, volunteer things we're juggling. It's just, it you can lose fun in the midst of
necessity.
This is just hard work. We're just grinding it out. Like,
Yeah.
we're doing better than surviving, but we're just, in the get shit done mode.
Yeah.
And to find humor in the midst of all of that is part of the having fun. It's not necessarily we're gonna plan 6 months from now, we're gonna have a week of fun, we're gonna go to Disneyland.
Yeah.
But just in the daily mix.
The necessities of life interfere with having fun, and the goal and the habit of these people who make their marriage healthy, or they make having fun a necessity.
Right. We should be recording all this, by the way.
Yeah, and then we turn. Okay, now what we need to talk about is.
Well, here, let's do this.
No. I've got my little button here.
Your button rarely works.
Oh no, it works.
Okay, do it. Hit the button.
Button works.
Hit the button. Oh, okay. So now it's working.
Now it's working.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can go ahead now.
So my 9-year-old daughter, she'll be watching this in 30 years. She just loves buttons. Like, you say, hey, can you do X? And she'll just hit every button on whatever it is. So I hate getting into an elevator with her because she just loves to hit buttons. So that reminds me, she would love to have that button and just be hitting that button.
Just today, when I backed out of my garage and I pushed the button for the garage door, I thought to myself, I wonder how many buttons we push in a day. I really did think that. We push a lot of buttons.
When we're together, you push a lot of my buttons.
Yeah, I know, and that's intentional.
Okay.
You have to be intentional about making people hate you.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not intentional about it,
Yeah.
they all love me.
Yeah, you do a great job of it, by the way.
That's heavy. That's a heavy.
You do a
deal.
great job.
You will bleep all this.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we are our chapter chat, habit 16
Yes.
of how they make it work. 21 habits of a successful marriage. So we're at 16. So we're kind of heading towards the end here. But habit 16 is they make it a priority to have fun together. So before we hit the button to start this, before we hit the button, we were talking about just that. Yes, it's important to find fun, but what for me right now, at least, is very important to find fun just in the middle of an incredibly busy life. Juggling careers, juggling kids, juggling volunteering, coaching soccer, etc.
Making a living.
Yeah, and just how important it is to find fun in the midst of that. Not okay, we'll have fun in 6 months when we go to Disneyland for 2 days.
Right.
But finding humor just in the now. So, yeah, I mean, Kara and I, we sort of, have giggles about some of the stuff our kids do.
Yeah.
Kind of behind their backs, I guess. But, I mean, just if you don't find humor in the daily grind, then you're just going to get ground down.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key thing that certainly comes out of this chapter for me.
Yeah, I think having fun necessitates laughter. And, it seems like in most relationships, Keith, at the beginning of a relationship, having fun is a necessity, and it comes naturally. But as life goes on and those things that you just mentioned begin to kind of take over our lives, the necessities of life overtake the necessity of having fun. And so at that point, having fun has got to take on somewhat of an intentional attitude and effort. And we do, as we get older, we do have to intentionalize what we never really had to intentionalize when we were younger and when our relationship was new.
Totally. So I imagine that there's couples that come into your office that basically say, I've lost touch with this person because we don't have fun together anymore.
Yeah, all the time, and they don't always say it in those terms, but
Yeah.
it's pretty clear that they're not having fun. And usually, I'll broach that subject with them. What is it that you're doing to have fun? And they'll often look at me with a blank stare as if we're not having fun. We're living life, and the necessities of life are interfering with what used to be fun. That's part of the problem. Yes.
Yeah. So what is it? Because Karen and I are asking ourselves this question all the time. Like, what is it that's drawing us to just the sort of get shit done mentality of just grinding out and coordinating and logistics of family and career and everything else? What's drawing us into that more than the, hey, let's remember this life is supposed to be enjoyable and fun.
Yeah.
Particularly from a faith standpoint, like that's kind of drawing us into a deeper thing than just the survival mode.
Yeah. Well, I think the the natural tendency is for us to see that whatever is necessary for us to do has got to be done now, and part of the habits of a healthy relationship is they recognize oftentimes this needs to be done, but we can set it aside for now and go out and have a good time. It'll always be here when we get back. So there's a certain urgency that needs to be abandoned in some circumstances so that fun can once again begin to permeate your relationship.
Who wrote that book or came up with the concept of the tyranny of the urgent?
I have no idea. Thank you for asking.
I just remember, like, this was a big part of a conversation we had,
the book. Yeah.
where it really is about, like, if you just focus on the things that are most urgent, it's going to rob you of the things that are more meaningful.
Yeah.
So I think you're absolutely right that somebody in the relationship has to take kind of step back and go, wait, time out. Like, we're getting drawn into this reality that is robbing us of the things that are more deeply meaningful, and that is having fun with
Right. So my little soundbite on that would be getting things done interferes with having fun. Now, you can carry that to an extreme and you do nothing but have fun and you get nothing done. But the balance of those two, I think, is what healthy relationships have learned to do.
So in the back of this chapter, you've got a number of sort of suggestions.
Yeah.
Anything you want to highlight in those suggestions?
Well, no, none in particular. I think they're all really important, and none of them, not all of them, are doable. I think you've got to pick out 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 that seem to work well with your relationship, and really hone in on them and intentionalize those.
Yeah, I really like the find a couple that you trust, and just like, you guys take the kids this week and we'll take all the kids next week, just to be able to sort of carry the load.
Yeah.
I think that's a key part of community. It's an important part of helping you as a couple keep that fun, keep that connection.
Right. I think people watching is fun for us, and one of the things I say here is sit on a bench once in a while and just watch people and enjoy what you see and talk about what you see. So it's those kinds of things that may sound like an old folks thing to do, but no. That's a fun thing.
No, when Karen and I did our trip around the world, we would just sit places just to soak up wherever we were.
Yeah.
And we would just make up stories about, like, that couple walking by or that young kid or something.
So it's fun to be mean, huh, Keith?
God, it was so fun.
Well, so that's my my little sermon on having fun. That you've got to intentionalize having fun, because there's just too many things that need to be done, and that can be a tyranny, as you mentioned. So I hope you enjoy that chapter if you feel drawn to it.
Great. Now you can hit the button. Still going. You're not hitting the button right. Oh my God, we have to keep that. It's still going. It's still going. We have to keep. Still going. Oh, this is priceless. It doesn't even turn off when you hit it on the phone, right?
No, it doesn't. And we aren't having fun, by the way. Something's not
Yeah.
registering.